Laurie and Tony. Behind them we have the Melbourne Metropolitan Marching Girls, and yet again a group who are so much a part of the Melbourne Cup Carnival. The parade down the straight in the hour between race 4 and the Melbourne Cup, the Marching Girls always part of it, adds so much colour and excitement. And behind them, making plenty of noise, and what a sweet sound it is too, the Victorian Naval Band, led today by Lieutenant Peter Thompson. And the Naval Band is being followed by the Baton Twirlers. They've got a pretty tough job coming down here in the Mel with several thousand people watching them, and they have done a magnificent job. Very, very talented people. It takes hours and hours of practice. And we've got some who've been doing it for quite a few years, and a couple of littlies amongst them too. The Victorian Naval Band and the Baton Twirlers adding colour and excitement here to the annual Melbourne Cup Parade in the Bourke Street Mel as we get ever closer to Melbourne Cup time, now just over 24 hours before the running of Australia's great race. And I'm sure everyone's going to go home tonight, study up on the form guide, hopefully come up with the winner. If you've drawn something in a sweep this morning, I know there's sweeps going on all over Melbourne. Let's hope that you'll be lucky come 20 minutes to 3 tomorrow.
Now there's a Rolls-Royce driving past. Who's in there? It looks like someone pretty important, and it is too. Brian Martin calling his second Melbourne Cup tomorrow. Yes,
Brian calling his second Melbourne Cup for 3UZ. And of course he called the Melbourne Cup back in 1981 when Just a Dash won it. And in there with him, well, it's a bit hard to see. Oh, Keith Elliott's in there. Good on you, Keith. It's the first time that Brian and Keith have ever been seen in a Rolls-Royce, and probably the last time too.
OK, and as the 3UZ boys do it hard, we'll take a break on the Parade of Champions. And welcome back to the Parade of Champions. One person who knows what it's like to win a Melbourne Cup is Midge Didham.
Yes, well, Midge, 1970 must bring a lot of memories back with Baghdad Note.
Oh, yeah, well, you only get a chance now and again to win a race like that, and it's the greatest race to win and unbelievable experience.
Well, Midge, what's your tip for tomorrow?
I think this Dry Empire Rose will win if the rain's about. I think the Dalgety runners, Kosh King and Gopak, will be very hard to beat.
Well, Mitch, that little horse behind you, Ming Dynasty, you won a Caulfield Cup on him, but you beat a couple of ordinary horses.
Yeah, they weren't much good. High Perno and Kingston Town, I think. They were,
Good on you, Midge. All the very best for the Melbourne Cup. Thank you.
And there he is, the champ himself. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Ming Dynasty. One of the great favourites. Crackers Keenan's with me now, and Crackers, what a mighty horse he was. He never won a Melbourne Cup, but 2 Caulfield Cups.
Magnificent, because Harry White rode him the first time, and the second time Midge Didham rode him, and I invited Midge around to my place for a feed on a Saturday night, and he said, oh, I'm on Ming Dynasty's about 50 to 1. He said, but I've got a runner's chance. Anyway, we still celebrate. He was a magnificent horse. He had just an honest galloper that probably couldn't get 2 miles, but a great mile and a half horse.
16 years old. He's now a clerk of the course up in Sydney, Ming Dynasty, and our thanks to the AJC for allowing him to come down today. Well, the Herald van, let's see what it says, TAB VRC Parade of Champions, and that's why we're here today, to have a look at the champions. And we've got some more champions coming down now, and look at the Shamrocks there. I tell you what, Irish eyes will be smiling, Crackers, if Paddy Lynch happens to win the Melbourne Cup tomorrow with Kate's Mill.
Well, it'd be a great feeling, me especially being Peter Patrick Pies, Paul Keenan. I'd love to see Paddy Lynch salute with Kate's Mill. She's a great, tough little staying mare, though, and Paddy's got her into peak condition.
And Ted Ryan's over there now with Paddy.
Good on you, Crackers. Well, righto, we've got the Irishman himself, Paddy Lynch, and his son, Paul. Well, Paddy, what about Kate's Mill tomorrow?
Well, I think she'll win, and I thank all these people for coming out to see her racing colours. And they'll all have a bet on it.
Well, what about the rain, though? You want some more rain overnight for Kate's Mill?
Leprechauns love the rain, and she's one. And she'll handle the wet.
I want to know how you got Jimmy Cassidy to ride him.
Oh, well, he's a bit Irish himself. And I said, a bit of luck now. I said, something will happen again. He was to ride another horse. And I said, oh, I won't worry, Jimmy. Something will happen. And I said, you might be on it yet. And he's on it tomorrow.
Good on you, Paddy. Paddy and Pauline, so best of luck with Kate's Mill in the Melbourne Cup.
And Peter, Paddy has promised to sing a verse of Irish Eyes Are Smiling if Kate's Mill does win the Melbourne Cup. That'd be something.
And if Paddy sings, I reckon 90,000 people will join with him. Well, following now is one of our great jockeys. He's been so much a part of the Australian racing scene for a long time, as Paddy does a somersault in front of the crowd. Gary Willits, with him, one of our greatest ever race callers too, Frank O'Brien, the voice of Flemington for many, many years. And let's join them now with Teddy.
First of all, Gary Willits, you're on Ideal Centre Man. What chance, Gary?
Oh, give him a great chance, Ted. The horse has come up really well. Clive Belford set him for the race, you know, and he couldn't have been happy with him.
Righto, Frank O'Brien has called many, many Melbourne Cups. Frank, who do you like tomorrow?
Well, I'm doing a Phantom for the Essendon line, so I better keep it a secret, but Royal Reel in the fourth, Ted.
What about the Melbourne Cup, though? You're going to keep out, are you?
Tomorrow morning at the Southern Cross.
Good on you, Frank. And Gary, what else beside Ideal Centre Man?
I'm on Spacecraft and also a horse of Richard Freer's in the third race, Ted.
And what do you like yourself besides your own mount, the Melbourne Cup?
I think Kosh King will be very hard to beat. He's proven over the distance, so, I'd like to be tacking him up.
Thanks, Gary Willits and Frank O'Brien.
Next down the bell is a genuine 18th century carriage sponsored by Schweppes. Crackers, you'd remember these, wouldn't you?
Yes, my dad had one. We used to go to school and that, but the carriage broke down, so we didn't go to school anymore.
Well, that's lovely to hear too. I think he's understating his age a bit. Behind that, some 3UZ personalities. Leon Wiegard with the Good Sports Every Night, Glenn Heine and Terry McCallum, one of our young up-and-coming race callers in Victoria. And behind those gentlemen, as we have a look at the lovely Schweppes lady and the 3UZ car coming down, we have the winner of the 1972 Melbourne Cup, giving George Hanlon his first success, John Letts his first success in a Melbourne Cup. Piping Lane, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 72 Melbourne Cup. And there's a very interesting story, Crackers, briefly about Johnny Letts having his first ride at Flemington in the Cup that year.
You've never seen the course or never been around before that, and I'll never forget the horse. He was 40 to 1, and I actually backed Piping Lane. His son of Lanesborough, and great horse that was Letts had just picked up the ride.
And John Letts is following down now. John, a part of Network 10's coverage of the Spring Racing Carnival. We'll be looking forward to your comments, John, throughout the carnival. The parade continuing here. We've got more stilt walkers coming down. The great Bobby Skelton is with us. Bob, who rode Vanderham in the 1976 Melbourne Cup, the wettest year in Cup history, probably the greatest distance rider in the world, for that matter, Australasia. He's been a great man of the turf for a long time, Bobby Skelton. We've also got many other personalities. A little bit further back is R1, the winner of the 78 Melbourne Cup. And let's just have a quick chat to Bob and see what his thoughts are this year. Teddy?
Well, Bob, back to Vanderham. First of all, a great win, but what about tomorrow, Bob?
Well, I think the road, the Empire Road, providing it's a good, hard track. Kosh King, the Dalgety winner, must be the big danger. And if a 3-year-old's going to win it, Stylish, the Derby winner.
Stylish Century.
He's the one. If a 3-year-old's going to win it.
Thank you very much. Bobby Skelton won the 1976 Melbourne Cup on Vanderham.
Well, the parade continues here in the Burke Street Mall. There's R1, and don't the crowd love him. What a great horse he was. The winner of the 78 Melbourne Cup. Crackers, another great finish that year.
Magnificent finish. He just browsed Dandy Leaf out on the line, and Toby Attridge and Harry White is probably Harry White's greatest ride. Harry told me the other day, he said, no, that was about my best. But I was around Harry's on the Sunday night prior to, and he told me how he's going to ride the race.
R1, of course, went within an inch of completing the double when he was beaten a short half head by Taxan in the Caulfield Cup of that year. A great horse, now age 16. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for R1, the winner of the 78 Melbourne Cup. Well, as I said, the parade continues and the excitement building now as we get closer to that very special first Tuesday in November. Stephen, I think we'll have more after this, including maybe even a tip from you.
With a bit of luck, Peter, we'll take a break. Be back shortly with the Parade of Champions. Starting on, Peter.
Welcome back to Network 10's coverage from the Burke Street Mall of the parade before the Melbourne Cup. And there is the trophy for tomorrow's great race. $1.825 million in stake money. One man who knows what it's like to hold the trophy aloft. He's done it 4 times, Harry White. If we can ever stop him from talking to John Letts, we might have a word to Harry. Harry, step up to the microphone. Now, first of all, 39, is that your age?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, as you guess.
What about the memories of those 4 Melbourne Cups? What was the greatest?
The greatest is always your first. And, I got a great kick out of every one of them. Why wouldn't I? You know, it's a Melbourne Cup. And the second one was a sentimental one. My old pop just died a month before that, and he was 92, and he loved racing like everyone out here today. He just died before it.
You going around this year?
Am I? Of course I am. I was a
tell
rider.
the people what you're riding.
I'm riding a mare from Horse of the Year mares research, and she put in a fair run Saturday, and I think that might make her pretty fit to run the distance. That's the question mark of a lot of horses, where they can run the distance. But Peter, she did run very well, and they were good horses that finished in front of her in the McKinnon Stakes.
Well, if it's anything to do with the skill of H. White, I'm sure she'll be there. Harry, good luck. We'll get your mate
Thanks,
in here. Let's see a man who's ridden 2 Melbourne Cup winners. As I said, part of our commentary team on Network 10. How did you enjoy Saturday, John?
I enjoyed it well, Pete, but there wasn't much to eat or drink up there, and you're up in that box for 9 hours. It's a long time.
Well, you're qualified to name the Melbourne Cup winner after Saturday's racing. Who do you think?
Well, Peter, watching the race yesterday, I did like Empire Rose's run. I thought it was a fantastic run, and I was lucky enough to fluke picking her last year. Kosh King was a great run in the last, and I think the 3-year-old's going to run a great race at Derby winner.
John, we'll look forward to your comments tomorrow. I get all the good jobs. I have Harry White and John Letts. Stephen Quartermain's got someone just a little prettier.
Just the luck of the cards, Peter. Simone Locke, Miss Melbourne Cup. Congratulations. Were you surprised?
I was very surprised. The competition was a bit tough this year. Some very lovely girls, and I am very happy to win, yes.
What are your duties as Miss Melbourne Cup 1989?
Well, I am an ambassadoress for the Spring Carnival, and I actually continue my duties right throughout the year. I go to Flemington to various different race meetings, and I've met some wonderful people so far. It's been lovely.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Who's your tip?
Well, I really do have a soft spot for Empire Rose, but as an outsider, terrific. I know it didn't do very well on Saturday, but you never know.
Simone, congratulations and enjoy the carnival. I know you will.
Thank you.
Well, Peter, let's get these so-called experts over here. Dan Malicki, come over and earn your money. Firstly, the betting for the Cup. Empire Rose still the favourite?
Stephen, Empire Rose is still the favourite. She's at about 3-1 at the moment is the price you'd be looking at. I can see a lot of strong money coming for Starley Sentry. Of course, he hasn't really been in the betting since Saturday, and he'll be about a 4 or 5-1 chance. I think the professional punters will be getting into Starley Sentry. Kosh King under double figure odds, so too is Cole Diesel, and also Sedestin, but Rosie the favourite.
OK, Graham Kelly, on the spot now, your tip for the Melbourne Cup tomorrow.
Steve, I've gone for Starley Sentry. He won the Derby in very good fashion on Saturday. He's looked bright and well at the track this morning. I don't think they'll be able to run him down, particularly with only 48 kilos on his back. I think that the Dalgety winner will be very hard to beat, Kosh King and also Empire Rose.
Crackers Keenan, you're going to go for that fancy of yours, Cole Diesel?
I think it's the Cole Diesel. He was home in the box on Saturday, just eating his head off. I like Kosh King's run and Starley Sentry, but I reckon a Cole Diesel in the last 200 metres will be motoring right over the top of him.
OK, Peter Donegan, your tip for the Cup?
Well, as I mentioned before, Steve, I think Empire Rose can win. The more I look at him, the more I like Kosh King. And I think Cole Diesel, if they can hold him up, is going to be very hard to beat with that last sprint home. Whatever happens, it is certain to be a great Melbourne Cup, and whoever holds that trophy aloft, Steve, at about 2:50 tomorrow is going to be very, very proud.
Well, they say the Melbourne Cup's not a great field, but there's a few hundred people that would climb over barbed wire to get their hands on this tomorrow.
And I am one of them.
OK, well, for what it's worth, I think Empire Rose will also win the Cup again for the second year in a row. Boys, it's going to be a great carnival tomorrow. Thanks for your time and all the best tomorrow. Of course, the coverage starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning with Good Morning Australia, followed by a cross to Flemington at 9:30. All the action throughout the day with the Melbourne Cup at 2:40, and what a race that's going to be. Even though some of the favourites are out, it's going to be a great race. And of course, the Cup Carnival concludes with Eyewitness News finishing at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So on behalf of everybody here in the Burke Street Mall, it's good afternoon and good luck tomorrow.
1989 Spring Racing Carnival, proudly brought to you by the new 1990 Nissan Pintara, the power to please, State Bank Victoria, and Foster's Lager. It's got the flavour.
12 years ago, it was just a dream. Next Tuesday, that dream becomes a reality. For 3.5 heart-stopping minutes, Dan Malecki is the voice, the youngest caller of the great race. Dan Malecki, part of 10's Eyewitness News.